the driving stuff first, and then we'll get to the stationary walk-around questions. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to this live Q&A on a Saturday morning, at least Saturday morning where we are, wherever you are tuning in. Thank you for turning in to MilesPerHr. Christina is, as usual, manning the camera, or comfortably from a seat this time, right? It's good? Sure. Sure, she says. Hello. All right, so first we're going to get to the questions from Instagram and YouTube community. You can follow me on Instagram at MilesPerHr, just like the channel name. Also doing some stuff on TikTok. If you are not yet following me on TikTok, go check it out. Put out a bunch of content every day for that. So, what is our first question from YouTube community and Instagram, Christina?
How much is it? From Rashad.
Rashad asked that question. I think one other person might have asked that question. Sorry, I didn't write your name down. This Alpina XB7 starts at $142,000, which is round about 40 grand more than the X7 M50i. Maybe less than that, maybe like 30 something thousand dollars more than the X7 M50i. This one, as tested with a couple options, is $154,000, so 12 grand more than the starting price. 154K as tested is the answer to that question. What is our next question, Christina?
Do the cup holders still make frost rings when in the cold setting? From Ote Manu.
I liked this question. He mentioned that a prototype was the heated and cooled cup holders right here. When you go to the cold setting, first of all, it's cool that there's like a blue ring that goes around it. It tells you you've got a cooled drink coming at you. But in the prototype of this vehicle, it would get so cold that it would create frost rings around whatever beverage you had in there. Maybe you had a metal, insulated container, and it would make frost rings around it. I have not tested that specifically, so I can't answer that question. But I do know after a while, it gets pretty darn cold in there. Just so you know, I am in the Comfort Plus setting right now. So this is going to be my interpretation of driving impressions on Comfort Plus. Very floaty.
Is the suspension soft or firm? From Hirofumi.
Well, what a perfect lead into that. Hirofumi asked about the suspension. So the Alpina is interesting in that it's not purely luxury focused, like for example the Mercedes Maybach GLS, one of the direct rivals to this vehicle. That is very much luxury focused. This one has a performance bend to it, but it also emphasizes comfort and cruising like very comfortably for a long trip. So the suspension could be both firm or it could be supple. So that's a great question. I find that in this vehicle, it is largely very well damped and very comfortable, much more than it is firm. So it leans definitely towards plushness and ride comfort for the Alpina XB7. Great question, Hirofumi.
All right, so Alpina XB7 or Maybach GLS from Blue Knight?
Boy, I just seem to be leading in to the questions
you
perfectly,
are.
aren't I, Christina?
Wow.
It's like I knew it was coming. So which would I choose? Would I have the Alpina XB7 or the Mercedes Maybach GLS? So let's talk starting figures. The Alpina XB7 is $20,000 less expensive than the Maybach GLS. And that Maybach GLS, if you watched my review, which was up this previous Monday, I hope you guys watched it. If you haven't, go check that out, because I went all in depth on that vehicle and found it to be a pretty darn good bargain compared to vehicles like the Range Rover SV Autobiography and the Rolls-Royce Cullinan and the Bentley Bentayga. It seemed like well priced for what you were getting out of that vehicle. So I liked that car. Conceivably liked it. I still think maybe I like the GLS 63 better than the Maybach GLS, and so people ask later in the questions about GLS 63 versus this, and I think that's as much of a fair question as the Maybach GLS. Would I take this or the Maybach GLS though? I think I would take this one. I do. I think the ride quality is excellent. Very, very close, if not No, it's just very, very close. I'm not going to say it's better than the Maybach GLS. Maybach GLS had a very floaty ride as well. But ride quality in this is very good. It doesn't have quite the appointments in the rear seats that the Maybach GLS had. But, so I guess I can answer that question, not to backtrack here. To answer that question directly as a driver, I would definitely have the Alpina XB7. If I was going to be a passenger, I'd have the Maybach GLS. But a car I'm going to buy and drive 100% this Alpina XB7. It's stupid fast for what it is. It rides very nicely. It has all the creature comforts for the driver. You've got massaging seats and all that good stuff. So I would definitely choose
Okay. Shows how fast. Trunk
you wanna
size.
Oh, that's a great lead-in. So I'm going to take it into Sport Plus. I'm going to turn off traction control. It's off. Now I'm going to put it in the Sport transmission. Hold brake, give it some gas. When the light goes green, give it gas. Launch control. Let go.
Whoa.
Okay, so that was really remarkable. 0 to 60 in this vehicle that we probably just experienced. It's going to be close. Maybe under better surfaces, we would get even faster launches. And if the tires were maybe a little warmer, there wasn't any slip there. It just went. 0 to 60 is 3.8 seconds. For a 5,900 pound SUV, 3.8 seconds. Something this tall, something this voluptuous. I couldn't think of the word. 0 to 60 in less than 4 seconds is astonishing. But we just experienced it.
All right. Well, this we're going to have to do after. Trunk size, safety features, and top speed.
Yes, we will do that. I mean, I can tell you about
top speed.
The top speed's 180 miles an hour.
Okay, and
A lot.
safety features.
Safety features, we've got the full gambit. We've got automatic emergency braking. We've got blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic. This one has the driving assistance package on top of, or maybe that might be, no. Okay, it's an additional package for the driving assistance plus, and you get the extended traffic jam assist system where up to 40, maybe 45 miles an hour, you can keep your hands completely off the wheel in traffic, and it will do all the steering and all the accelerating and braking. So it has all those systems, and it has a 360 surround view camera system with a 3D projection of the vehicle. That's all neat and tidy. So it's got all the safety goodies, guys.
All right, does the body kit make it too low for an SUV from Harsh 29?
Yeah, that's a great question. So again, we'll get to this when we're doing the walk around portion. But from the front of the vehicle, they extended the body down. It was already a very tall front face of the car, but they extended it down with a body kit. Harsh didn't actually say body kit. That's what I refer to it as. He asked if the fascia panels make it so low that it's kind of doesn't do the SUV stuff. This is one of those vehicles that I would not take off-road. It does have an air suspension and can raise up. I think 3 inches of max difference between lowest and highest setting, maybe even 4. But it can raise up, but that front fascia piece, to your point, Harsh, is going to make it catch on more things. The approach angle is much worse because it's hanging like 4 inches lower than the standard X7. So for normal around town stuff, not a problem, even on curbs and stuff like that. If you can take a compact SUV on it, you can take this on it without scraping. But off-road, I wouldn't take it off-road. Even though it has an off-road mode, I would not take it off-road.
Okay. Does the Alpina logo on the steering wheel feel out of place from Harsh 29?
Great question. So this gets into my rant that I'm going to have about, like, what is Alpina relative to BMW, and what is, like Maybach relative to Mercedes. In the case of this XB7, it's a very, it's not a deeply entrenched difference versus the XB7. That was Christina's phone, just went flying. It is not a deeply entrenched difference between the X7 and the Alpina, apart from it's more a detail thing. So like the Alpina logo here on the trim, the differences of trim that you get with the Alpina XB7, the additional layers of luxury that you get, the leather in additional places. How's
the quality?
How's the trim material quality?
Yeah, and the
Good
leather.
question. The leather quality is phenomenal. It's full merino leather, very soft to the touch. The trim is good. It's what is happening? Oh, I think gesture control just turned something on. Yeah, so gesture control is kind of annoying, guys. It was nifty at first, and I still like the volume, like up-down thing, like that's cool. But it does get annoying sometimes.
Because you talk with your hands.
Because I talk with my hands.
So it's a problem.
The material quality in here is very good. I would say it's even better than the Mercedes AMG GLS 63. But to point about the Alpina, it's so light apart from the wheels, which are optional, and the body panels on the outside that I'll point out. We're pulling into the parking lot now, so I'll be able to do the exterior walk around, that it doesn't feel like a different vehicle. It is badge exclusivity. Buying an Alpina is it's sort of like this, I have the best X7. You have the absolute best X7. Without any prospects of an X7 full-on M, not the M50i, as of right now, the Alpina is going to stand as the most powerful, most exclusive X7 that you can buy. So you're buying into that. You're not necessarily buying a completely made-over vehicle. You are getting more power from that 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8. You're getting some exterior details that are different that I'll point out here as we're parking, and some interior pieces that are different, along with Alpina logos and leather in places and trim materials. But it's not a top-down, completely different vehicle.
Talk about, well, I just noticed this. What's this?
Oh, this is cool. This is an option. They're LEDs embedded within the panoramic sunroof that illuminate at night, and it looks super cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, that was my question.
That was Christina's questions.
Okay.
Okay, we can hop out of the vehicle at this point, and I can answer some of the other questions.
Thoughts on those paddle shifters from Hirsch 29?
Yeah, these things are weird. These paddle shifters are very strange. So they're actually little buttons in the back here, and that's how you shift gears. But it's got a plus and a minus on top, and you can shift with these. Or you can't shift with these. Sorry, these are just the indicators of whether it's plus or minus. But they're tiny little buttons. That's how you shift gears. So I just ended up going to the drive selector, and when I had it over in manual mode, I was just pulling up and down on this. And this is actually, the orientation of the plus and minus here is the right way. Push forward to go up doesn't feel logical at all. It's push down to go down gears. That's how it should be, and that's how it is here in BMW vehicles, BMW Alpina vehicles. So I ended up using the gear selector instead of using these little paddles because they just felt diminutive and wrong.
Okay, last one. This you already answered this, I'm pretty sure. This or Mercedes AMG GLS 63 from
I
Bowers.
didn't answer the GLS 63. I answered the Maybach GLS. Not to correct you, because I'm just clarifying.
Yeah.
And that's the really difficult one for me. Would I have the GLS 63? That as tested, I had that one. It was like 150 grand, so right around the same price as this. Or would I have this? Gut reaction says, oh gosh. Gut reaction says I would use that GLS 63. I preferred the look of the front of that car more than this one, and we'll get into that as I look at it. The sound of that engine was better, and yeah, it just felt more performance oriented than this one did, and I loved that it bridged the gap between performance and luxury. This one bridges the gap very, very well. In addition, again, Maybach versus this, it's going to be this. GLS 63 versus this, very, very narrow edge I would give to that GLS 63. But they're so close, and you would not be wrong for getting the XB7. There's no way you would be wrong. It's really a preferential thing, and I think I like the front end of that GLS 63 better and the sound of that engine better. Okay, yeah. Power is very similar between the two, though. 612 and that's 603 for the GL.
I don't know if you want to answer these. They're not related to the car. What is your favorite car so far from Haroon Plays?
Oh, well, guys, if you're... I mean, I don't want to give it away. I don't know what that was in the car, but I don't want to give it away, but you need to watch my McLaren 765 LT review that's coming up on Monday. You need to watch it because that kind of answers that question.
Okay.
Okay?
What is your favorite all-time vehicle? The Larson family.
Well, let's talk about the car that I want to buy at one point in my life, which would be the Ford GT. 2005 era Ford GT. If you guys have watched my live Q&As, it comes up pretty much every other live Q&A. What car would I buy? What car would I want? Ford GT. Oh, here, while we're standing out here, let me rev it real quick. So go to the back. I'll put it in Sport Plus.
Yes, sir.
Please. Please and thank you. So what do you think? What do you think of the noise? I'm curious as to your comments. I like it. I don't like it as much as the GLS 63. And here's the other part that pushes me very narrowly towards the GLS 63. This front end. It's a bit much, wouldn't you think? Do you agree, Christina? Do you like it?
I like it.
She likes
well, I don't necessarily like how squished these two are together.
The kidney grills? Well, it's such a loose interpretation of a kidney grill. This is kind of like getting closer. Well, it's getting closer to the 4 Series grill, which you haven't seen, Christina. What? I'm not going to share what Christina just said. This is getting towards the 4 Series grill, where it's taller than it is wide. This is about square, which is so funny. BMW is trying everything right now. You look at the M5 I just had, it was very much wider than it was tall. The 4 Series, taller than it was wide. This one, square. So they're just trying it all. I don't love this. I really don't. But I also just, the Alpena thing down there, it looks very, this was my terminology, it looks very body kit-esque. And that looks tuner aftermarket. And Alpena is trying not to be that. And I don't think they are. I think they do a really nice job of massaging the engine, getting more out of it, and nice details on the interior and the wheels. My goodness, the wheels. We'll get to those in a second. It doesn't feel tuner-esque. That looks tunerish to me, and I don't like that. My preference.
All right. Hi from Berlin.
Hello.
All right. When is the Ford Mach Mustang video?
When is?
Yeah.
I published it, and it's a long story as to why I unpublished it, but it will be back up on Wednesday. So if you didn't see it, just wait till Wednesday. It will be up then. A couple days, guys.
Okay, from Mohammed, how is the BMW interior compared to the Escalade?
It's a little off topic. I mean, yes, it is a BMW X7. This is the Alpina XB7. They're trying to be different. But let's compare this interior to the Escalade. Fit and finish, better in this one. 100% better. I feel like the quality of the material and the way they are stitched together in this XB7 is better than the Cadillac. But the tech in that Escalade was super cool. The OLED display with all that they're doing with the augmented reality and all that, I thought that was so cool. In terms of just comfort, they're very close. I think the Escalade seats are perhaps more comfortable than any of the seats in this XB7. So there are strengths and weaknesses to both vehicles is the answer. But can we just talk about these wheels? I've been wanting to talk about them for all this time. Look at these wheels. 23-inch multi-spoke Alpena. This is like classic Alpena right here. These wheels are incredible. I love them. This kind of makes the whole vehicle for me. These wheels. They are optional. It's like $2,500 for these wheels. Worth every penny. I love these wheels. The blue brake calipers are kind of pulled straight off the X7 M50i, but they've got Alpena script on them now. I love these wheels. I think they make the profile of the car. I'm comparing it to the GLS 63. I think the XB7's profile looks better than the GLS 63. The GLS 63 almost looks like a minivan, whereas this, I like it's sharp, it's edgy, it looks more SUV-esque, and these wheels kill me. They slay me in all the right ways. Whereas the GLS 63 on its black multi-spokes, I was like, I would choose the monoblock personally if I was going to get the GLS 63, and those are more comparable to these in terms of cool factor. But these wheels, I love them. I love these wheels.
Did you guys hear that? He loves the wheels.
Is my point made clear? It's very chilly today. I'm cold.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay, From Louvre. Tick-Tock is banned in India.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That sucks. That really sucks. I am reposting. This is for you. I am reposting all my TikToks on Instagram Reels now. So if you have Instagram, you'll get the TikToks. You'll get shortened versions of the TikToks, unfortunately, because Instagram limits it to like 30 seconds. Whatever.
All right, and Mohammed's asking my question. Whenever I get in a car, does it have massaging seats?
Yes. This one does have massaging seats. They're pretty good. They're not the best. They're pretty good. Oh, what I do like about them is though, pardon me, that they stay on. These massaging seats don't turn off after a time. A lot of massaging seats, they'll be on for like 15 minutes and then it's like, you're done. You've had enough massage. These stay on until you turn them off.
All right.
Cool.
How
Cool.
fast compared to the Urus or any other fast SUV from Mohammed?
So, the Urus, the Lamborghini Urus, that is a much more dynamic SUV. It is, I mean, if you're going to take them to a racetrack, that would leave this car for dead. Talking straight line speed, the Urus is still going to be significantly faster by like half a second to 60, and then the top speed is going to be higher at 190. It's faster than this. I think what is most shocking is when you get in a vehicle this big, weighing this much, with 3 rows of seats, and it does what it does in a straight line, and even in a corner, then that's what really impresses you. The Urus, I mean, it impressed me as an SUV. Like, I'm like, holy cow, that an SUV can do this, be this fast, is great, it's insane. But this is just as impressive in that you get in this and it's huge, and for it to move the way it does is amazing.
All
But
right.
Urus is definitely faster.
How different is it over X750i apart from completely retuned engine? Can it be called as X7M? From
So,
Louvre.
great question. For who's that?
Louvre or Love? I'm not sure how to say
Okay,
it.
well, I just want to make sure we give credit where questions are asked. It's a great question. I'd answer that in a little way. It's saying that, you know, Alpina is not just, they're not just a body kit. They do quite a bit more. Does it feel M, like full-on M treatment? Not M Sport where you have the X7 M50i. Does it feel like a full-on like M car, which is what you asked? No. I prefer this though. I think a full-on M car, well, yes, I guess it would directly rival the GLS 63 as a full-on M car. Yeah, that's someone's blowing leaves over there, and the exhaust smell from that is way worse than anything you're gonna smell off a car. I would prefer this to a full-on M X7, I think, not having driven it. I think I would prefer this because daily drivability, this is amazing. The suspension tuning being as soft as it is, it's still being ridiculously fast in a straight line. Having the look, I think I would prefer this.
Okay. Oh, what a nice comment. Wow, you're such a professional and handsome reviewer. Keep up the golden work.
Oh, thank you. I
From
really
Maybach.
appreciate your comment. I don't think my physical appearance has anything to do with my professionality.
Oh,
Christina,
yeah.
not you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I'm trying to be a professional here, trying to get you all the information about these vehicles, and I really appreciate your support.
From DDR Chanel, hello. Hey. A lot of people think this is the most beautiful SUV.
I think it's pretty good. I don't like the front end. I think everything else about it is really good. I like the back. I like the side. I love the wheels, as you know. I like the shadow line trim, all the dark trim that they put around the vehicle for the XB7. It's all good. I like the quad exhaust in chrome. This is another classic Alpina piece, having the quad chrome outlets. Very Alpina. Very good.
Right. How is Christina spelled? Is it Krystina or Christina? It is Christina.
I was wondering if you were going to make me answer that, or if you were going to jump in.
I was going to wait for
Oh,
you.
okay.
And I was like, no.
He's not going to answer it.
Oh, turn off the engine.
Yeah, I was leave it on.
Or rev it one more time and then turn it off.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry guys, it's not the engine, it's the leaf blower.
Oh yeah, that noise is no, but
It's
I
the-
wanted to turn it off for emissions anyway. But I'll rev it one more time. Put it back into sport plus. Give it some gas. And with that, I am going to turn it back off. We'll leave the lights on. I haven't showed you specifically the headlights. They're really cool. You've got standard laser light technology from BMW. It basically sends the light further down the road via refractions of laser light technology within the lens housings. But these, look at these. I love the laser etchings of the cut glass here. It's very beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Looks really cool. I like the blue details on the headlights. The headlights are super cool. They are my favorite part of the front end for sure.
Okay, you already answered this, I'm pretty sure. From Dogo Argentino, I need to know this or the new GLS 63. This is the direct competition.
Yes.
We talked
So
about that.
Doug, are you still reading the questions from?
I'm on YouTube, but this might have been.
Yeah.
asked
So did you get through
earlier.
all the YouTube questions? The Instagram.
A while ago, we've been doing
Oh,
YouTube.
okay. All right. Just making
Yeah.
sure. Because Dogo Argentino did ask that question. He asked about the GLS 63 versus this.
Oh, we already asked that.
Because
Yeah,
he's
we
making a
did.
decision. I think, dude, honestly, you can't go wrong. I love both vehicles. It really is, to this point, a preference thing. Do you like the look and sound of the GLS 63 better than the Alpina XB7? Because from a comfort and style standpoint, it's really going to be your personal preference. I think I would lean slightly towards that GLS 63. I like the MBUX system. I like the front end look of the GLS 63. That is the loudest leaf blower I've ever heard in my life. I think I would slightly lean towards that, but man, is it close. You would not be wrong. There goes my voice. Forgetting the XB7. You really wouldn't.
All right.
I realize that doesn't necessarily help you with your decision. I'm going to say they're both phenomenal performance luxury SUVs. Take your pick. You're going to be happy.
Okay, we already talked about the seat leather. And then, hey, Miles from Rashad's TV.
Rashad's TV. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Okay, from Luke, does it justify astronomical price hike over regular X750i?
I would argue it's not an astronomical price hike. It is a significant price hike, $30-ish thousand. But I think you can actually, it's tangible what you're getting out of that. And so it's a good question. Is it worth, I would rephrase it, is it worth the extra money? I don't think it's astronomical. Yes, I would say it is worth the extra money. When you compare what you can get for other vehicles, Mercedes Maybach GLS, the Range Rover SV Autobiography, Bentley Bentayga, yes, I think this competes with those very well. Not going to say it's the best compared to those vehicles because those cost significantly more. They can cost significantly more. But I think it is worth it for what you're getting in terms of the content. You get a lot of standard stuff, a ton of standard stuff, options that you would have to check on the regular X7 M50i that would get you very close to this price tag. Then you don't have the brand exclusivity of an Alpina versus a regular BMW. So I think it is worth the price.
All right. From Jared Boswell, I'm relying on you. LOL, I ordered the AMG. Let me know if I need to switch.
Yes, Jared is, I've been communicating with Jared on Instagram. He's been asking questions. He says GLS 63, he bought that one, but he can still take it back in and get this one. Jared, let me tell you, the GLS 63, great SUVs, you either have already found out or you will find out. You're not going wrong either way. So if you got the GLS 63, you're probably going to be happy keeping it. But the XB7, if you want to switch it up, if you like the look of this better, you will be very happy with this one as well. These are the rear seats. You can fold them flat with this button. You can send them going forward with this one. The seat will go forward, and then it creates a really nice access point to the rear seats. What I would love is if these back doors opened a little further. If they were a bit wider of an opening, they open pretty far, but if I'm standing here, I then like hit it with my butt as I'm pulling my leg up to get in here. But look at this like access. There's quite a bit of access here to the back seats. really easy to get into the third row. And then when we put the third row back, which press this button here and it goes back, put up the headrest.
Oops, I lost a lot of questions.
Oh no.
Well,
Sorry guys, keep asking questions.
you're also taking a long time answering them.
Oh, sorry. But here I am, 6 feet tall. I can fit in this third row
Just
with the
kidding.
position of the second row. If they put the second row back any further, I'd be out of leg room. But I can fit back here.
Is the interior better than the X7 from Gian? Sorry guys, I lost some questions, so I'm starting where I see them.
Okay. Yes, it is better than the X7. There's extended leather in places. There is Alcantara in places. You can equip certain elements like the regular X7, but you can't have leather in all the places with all the nice details that you get in this Alpina. Go forward.
From Khalid, horsepower and torque.
612 horsepower, 592 pound-feet of torque from a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. It's time to pop the hood and I'll show you that. Massaged by Alpina, not completely redone, but tuned, upgraded to 612 horsepower. And you get another Alpina logo, and it is a really nice looking logo. And there's clear history with Alpina, which is cool. That's your V8 bi-turbo. BMW calls it twin turbo, Alpina calls it bi-turbo. AMG calls it bi-turbo. Why? They mean the same thing. I don't know. That's your engine. Yeah, 4.4 liters, 612 horsepower, 592 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60, 3.8 seconds, top speed, 180 miles an hour. Fuel economy, terrible. 17.
Jared Boswell says thank you.
No problem, Jared.
Okay. We already revved the car,
Yep.
and yes, sorry, we turned off the engine, and it's really the leaf blower.
That's the leaf blower, guys.
Okay, kind of already mentioned this. Is the car worth the price from Joseph Farano?
In my estimation, yes, it is worth the premium. You're getting a lot of vehicle here. You're getting performance, you're getting luxury, you're getting details, you're getting style. And whether you like the front end or not, like me, it makes a statement. It still makes a statement.
All right. When will you review the Ferrari SF90 from Juan 6.7?
Boy, that's a one-off car, effectively. Probably not going to happen anytime soon. I would love to, just like I'd like to review a Koenigsegg, and I'd love to get another stab at the Bugatti Chiron, but I don't know when I'm going to get access to those cars. My access is via press fleets, and if you are confused about what that means, go watch my 100,000 subscribers video. I explain all of what that entails, how I get these cars, but I would love to review the SF90. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately, unless Ferrari gets very generous. Trying to get the Roma right now, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right.
That is the most annoying thing in the world.
Yeah.
Should we move?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to move. We're just going to
Okay.
move around the corner, guys.
Oh, a lot of people are saying they don't like the way this looks.
Okay, well.
I should say a few people.
Yeah, well, as it relates to the front end, I am in agreement with you. Not a big fan, but profile and rear, I like how it looks. I do. No apologies. Oh, look at this very fancy Alpina XB7 plaque. Oh, look at, see this, I am such a tactile person, and I love the texture on this Alpina crutch. They didn't just put a flat piece right there. It has texture. Hersteller Exclusiver Automobile.
From Brian.
Christina's her seatbelt on.
Is Christina on Instagram?
I don't know. Are you on Instagram?
You don't know.
No, I don't know how we're going to respond to that. Are you on Instagram?
I don't really I don't really take time on Instagram. I don't accept
She's a private person.
yes, I'm a private person.
Private person.
Okay. Okay. Who buys this car and what do they do for a living, from Raul?
That's a great question. Well, maybe Jared, you can chime in and answer it because you're shopping, or the other fellow, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, who was looking between this and the GLS 63. Not Jared, the other guy. What do you guys do for a living? I am going to say an executive position, senior management level, something related perhaps to finance. But of course, there are a whole breadth of career paths that could have led to being in a position financially where you can afford this vehicle. Who buys this in terms of what they want out of it? They want something that is not seen around every corner, something that is plush, something that is powerful. It's the feeling of power from behind the wheel. That is who buys this vehicle. And it is a bit of a status symbol. It's saying, look at how hard I've worked and the successes I've had, demonstrated via the vehicle I'm driving. That's who buys this vehicle. And you probably have a family. Or you're toting around a bunch of dudes or dudettes on a regular basis. Let me try this parking lot. Hopefully it's quiet.
Toting around a bunch of dudes or dudettes. Okay. All right, from Joseph, what's your and Christina's opinion on the car? Oh, people are including me today.
Hey, I mean, this is great. Christina, what is your opinion? I've already shared my opinion.
Oh, I'm a sucker for comfort and luxury inside, so I'm happy.
I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm just driving in a circle while we're answering questions.
I like how fast it is. I haven't driven it, so I can't give that impression.
Yes.
So I'm not sure how I feel totally about it. I don't mind the way it looks. I wouldn't choose it in white.
I like the white with the blue, but
white with the blue looks great.
And the wheels look good on the white too. That's just my personal take.
Okay. Is Christina his wife? Yes.
Yes. Mother of my child, due in 3 weeks.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. So.
Yeah, Christina's gonna be probably tapping out here very soon. Yeah. I will have to find a substitute. Certainly not as engaging of a substitute, but I will have to find someone else who can do these live Q&As with me. But I may be riding solo for a couple of them.
All right, from Rashad's TV, would you take this BMW XB7 Alpina for your daily driver, Miles?
Oh, 100%. This would be a great daily driver. My current favorite daily driver on the market is the Audi RS6 Avant. I love it. I love everything about that vehicle. So that would be my peak daily driver. But if I have more than 2 kids, TBD, then this would be the perfect daily for that third row of seats.
Yeah. Although they would probably make it messy.
Yeah, well, that's what you get. That's what you get with little niños.
Suggestion from Brian. You should do a day in the life vlog.
Day in the life vlog. Well, I've been.
I don't know. Will people watch it?
I don't know. I've been considering something like that for one of my Patreon tiers. Good time to plug Patreon. If you want to support me on Patreon, really appreciate it. Just patreon.com/MilesPerHr. I've considered that as like a perk for if you sign up at a certain tier, that I'll give you access to like probably not a daily, but a monthly life vlog situation. I don't know how in depth I'm going to go with my personal life, but I can definitely share with you kind of the ins and outs of being a car journalist. So I will consider it.
All right, I think we already answered this. Is the interior better than the X7?
Yes, it is better than the X7 in the details. It's all in the details. Leather in more places, Alpina crests, and knurled finishes on certain things that aren't on the X7. I like this piece of glass right here on the infotainment controller with Alpina right there. That looks cool. It looks super cool. And the trim. I like this trim. The more I spend time poking at it and looking at it, I like it. It's like an anthracite. Textured anthracite. I'm just paused in this parking lot. If we don't have any further questions, we will wrap this one up.
There have been a lot, but we're already up 40 minutes. But we can.
Well, I may not be able
Let
to
me
do a
see.
review for this vehicle, guys, so I will, let's do a couple extra questions. And if you have further ones, of course, let me know in the comments.
What
I
is
read your comments.
special about Alpena? I think you already
Just cut me off. Wait, no.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
I found the question.
What is special about Alpena? Well, Alpena's heritage with BMW, massaging their vehicles in terms of performance, giving them an exclusive look, and you don't see as many Alpenas on the road, certainly, as you do BMWs. If you see an Alpena, if you don't know the brand, then you're like, what is that? It looks a lot like an X7, or it looks a lot like a 7 Series, but it's not. And Alpena, until recently, typically meant like you were getting a diesel version. For those of you outside the US, we don't get a lot of diesel versions of cars. So an Alpena version was, a little more interesting. You had that diesel torque, and that was appealing. But now this is a gas-powered engine, so Alpena is more a style and a substance and an exclusivity thing. That's why you would get an Alpena versus just your regular BMW. It is very quiet in here.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a big bump. Are we in Comfort Plus? Let's find out.
Okay. Are these? Oh, is the remote started on the Key Fob? From Charles Holmes. He says hello, and Joseph says hello.
Hello, Joseph, and who else?
Joseph and Charles Holmes.
Joseph and Charles, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I do not have remote start on this key fob. A little bit of a letdown. This is a regular BMW key. I don't know if this is only provided, and this is why I'm not going to go too deep into this. I don't know if this is only provided because this is a media vehicle, and if the regular Alpina XB7 gets a full-on Alpina key, I don't know for sure. I have a feeling that they still just get a BMW key, which would be sort of a bummer. But no remote start on this key, though I could have sworn on the spec sheet it said that there was remote start on this vehicle, so that TBD. Yeah, man, these, like, the cold cup holder thing got really cold, so I can see it making frost rings.
Okay, from Byzantine Christian, are these real rims and bumpers because they look aftermarket?
So, I mean, that directly relates to what we talked about earlier, so definitely go watch earlier in the video. They are real rims, and they are not aftermarket, because Alpina is a factory certified production of this vehicle, but they could be misconstrued for a tuner, aka aftermarket body kit, and that's one of the elements I'm not such a fan of, especially on the front end.
Does it have ambient light from Panorama?
It definitely does, and with that LED panoramic sunroof, you get ambient lights in the sunroof, which are so cool. I'll probably be making TikToks and Instagram reels about the special features in this vehicle that I like. That's one of them. All right, guys. Might be wrapping it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching.
I know we didn't get to all of your questions,
but you guys asked great questions. You really did. This was a really fun video to make. You asked some really excellent questions. If I didn't get to them, comment them, and I will get to them. Again, I don't know for sure if I'm going to have time to make a review. I'm just going to say, I don't think I'm going to have time to make a review on this vehicle. It goes back on Monday, and I've got a packed weekend. So this will count as the review. I hope I answered all your questions. We talked about performance, we talked about style, we talked about comfort.
Oh, I guess you're wrong about the key.
I am? Okay, what, do you actually get an Alpina key?
Well, it says, Jared's saying it does have remote start. Press the center button 3 times if you have it turned on in the HUD.
Oh, okay, so...
And then someone's saying maybe since it's a press car, you didn't get the key.
That could be. Again, I don't know for sure about that question, but Jared, thank you for answering about the remote start. I guess you press 3 times in the center if you've turned it on that way in the infotainment system. So there's your answer there. It does have remote start. I could have sworn I read it on the press release or on the spec sheet for this car. It does have remote start. So that's how you activate it. You press 3 times on the BMW logo when you've prompted it on the infotainment.
Oh, people want a little more time.
I'll give you another 3 minutes here, guys. What are the...
Stop driving.
Oh, okay.
So I can't.
Okay. All right. We're gonna pull over for a sec.
Look to the left and focus.
Okay.
Okay. Bentayga, Cullinan, Urus, or XB7, Barabbas, Mansory, GLS 63, do they even exist, or is it all about the segment one wants to get car in, like a Rolls or Bentley customers might be inclined on Lex?
That was a very detailed question. I can interpret what you're saying. So you're asking about really like Mansory and those other tuners are it's style that you're bringing to the vehicle, and it's definitely a look. Do you want that look? Do you want the tuned look? Do you want the factory look? Do you want the prestige of a Rolls-Royce or a Bentley, or is it about the substance? For example, this Alpina XB7 or Mercedes-AMG GLS 63. How do I answer this question? Well, it's also the question is a little broad sweeping. I think that, in my opinion, I would go for substance over a look in particular. So this Alpina or the Mercedes-AMG GLS 63, they have strong brands behind them, but more than that, they have really excellent substance here. The quality of the materials, the luxury features that you're getting, the wheels, the look, apart from, in this case, the Alpina, I don't like the front end of this XB7. In the case of the GLS 63, I don't like the profile. But the substance is superb, and that's what I would buy in. The ride quality for both this, the GLS 63 is a bit firmer than this. The Maybach GLS had similar ride quality. I don't think I would go and pick one vehicle because it had the look, specifically the look. I want substance behind the look. So I think that you can find yourself in a particular segment because you like the look, and that's going to be your personal preference. But I think that if you go for substance, you'll find yourself very satisfied with something that's, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars less. For example, the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. I love that vehicle, but do I think it's worth the price relative to what you can get in other vehicles? I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. Is it gasoline or diesel?
Gas.
Okay.
Here, I'm gonna go sit in the back seats. We are pulled over. It's fine.
I don't think this is comparable. Would you prefer the Alpina XB7 over the Durango Hellcat with 100 more horsepower? That?
So the Durango Hellcat, I'm getting that on Monday, by the way. So I guess I can answer that question on next week. But would I prefer this or would I prefer that? For my personal, how I would want to use the vehicle every day, I would take this. Though the Durango is, going to be significantly more exciting of a driving experience just because you have that supercharged Hemi V8 noise all the time. This is like just, I can already tell I haven't driven the vehicle. It's going to be so much more comfortable and more usable and have more features, and that matters more to me at this point in terms of well-rounded because I'm not giving up too much in terms of performance. The 0 to 60 time being 3.8 seconds. The Durango Hellcat's going to be faster, but this is not going to be that much slower. You shouldn't encounter any situations where this vehicle is going to feel slow. So I would choose this one, but the Durango Hellcat, for the price, is going to be a heck of a vehicle. It's going to cost, what, I can't remember, like $80,000 or something like that. That's going to be a heck of a vehicle for that money. I know they updated the interior extensively. I talked to some buddies who've driven it, and they're like, look, it's much, much nicer than old Durangos. So I imagine I'm going to like that vehicle quite a bit. But I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you for sure. This one, though, if we're talking money's not an object, I would choose this. Money's an object, I would choose Durango.
From Joe Ma, is the engine exhaust louder in Sport Plus mode?
It is louder in Sport Plus mode. I did have it in Sport Plus mode when I was revving it earlier, by the way. Let's see, we can do some shades. I can open up this way back here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's another window for the third row of passengers back there.
I can't turn my head like this anymore.
Oh, okay.
So.
Her neck's hurting. Then I can make this shade open or close. I can raise or lower these window blinds on the back here. I wish we had window blinds for the third row and for that back window back there, but we don't, and life goes on. Bowers Wilkins sound system in this vehicle, $3,400. Don't think it's worth it. It's a way to get back some of your money. Then you dip back into the it'd still be in the low 150s for this vehicle as tested if you took off that $3,400 sound system. You get a Harman Kardon sound system as standard. I'm not an audiophile. I think that sound system's just fine. I don't think this is worth the extra money. You get these entertainment screens as part of a package. You do have to pay for these. And they're pretty good. You want me to take over? Yeah. Oh, okay.
You sound mad.
I sound mad?
Maybe at me.
Oh, no, I'm definitely not mad. Not at Christina, certainly. And I'm not mad in general. Not mad. Not at all.
Okay.
So these are the entertainment screens that you're going to get. Hang on, let me see if I can center this. There we go. And they work pretty much just like that infotainment up there. They're a bit slower sometimes. After they boot up, they're kind of quick. But they can be slower. You can control navigation, some car settings, like ambient lighting. You've got access to some apps that you can download, and then of course you can change the media information. Very un-California weather, I agree. Harsh. It is very gloomy. Although it does, I mean, we got June gloom here. This isn't June gloom right now. But, yeah. I'm going back through the comments, guys, so I can see. It is a nice vehicle indeed. Front just messed up on the Alpena. Yeah, I don't like it as much. Bye, Charles. Thank you for tuning in. Electrification. That's an Louvre. Very sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. That's a very interesting comment about electrification and what brands make sense for electrification. This one I could see that for sure in terms of, like, you know, luxury has a lot that full electrification goes hand in hand with in terms of quietness and comfort. I do know the car very well, Joe. I have to disagree with you. How's the sound system? Answered that. 10 more minutes, please, love S. Sorry, I'm giving it to you. Here you go. What are the questions we have?
I think you're almost to the end.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much there. Harsh says tablets probably come from Samsung, sorry, and some other tech manufacturers, and I think that's very much right. These aren't going to be BMW proprietary tablets. It's just going to be on with their interface installed. The Jared asks, finally, is this the dark walnut trim? Yes, I believe it is the dark walnut trim, Jared. And that's going to take us out, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And there's Christina just enjoying herself right now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. So I will see you again next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you later.